Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up, as always. But first, let's take a look at our weather brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard, and a hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. And like I said yesterday, just keeping us warm. I don't know about you, but I've been able to build some fires lately, and they sure have been, I don't know, just been exceptionally warm. And it still amazes me how hypnotizing and relaxing fires are. So I hope you get to build fires during some of this cold weather of January and early February, because before you know it, it'll be warming up. High today's going to be 69, low 38. Water temperature is below 60 degrees, right at 59.4. And this is what we, of course, anticipate every year, and things start happening when it gets below 60. So keep that in mind, and we'll go over our Friday fishing forecast tomorrow and cover a lot of this temperature and what it does in different parts of our viewing area. Our river reading is brought to us by Panama City Coca-Cola. Take a look at Apalachicola at Bluntstown. It's still pretty steady, 3.1. And then take a look at Choctawhatchee at Caryville, 3.8. It's on the rise now. Rain is coming. I don't know when it's coming. Each time I look at the meteorologist report, it's different times and all, which is understandable. It's not an exact science, but we have rain coming. It's certainly going to affect the Choctawhatchee, and it will be going up soon. And hopefully, ideally, we want it to rain like on Friday night when everybody's asleep, and then we can hunt and fish on Saturday and then come back in later. So we'll see. Well, anyway, be aware of it. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. The tide will be low this morning at 7:17 and high this afternoon at 4:48. The wind today is coming out of north about 10, double figures, and it's wintertime weather, and this is what we expect. So we just deal with it and do the best we can. Take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. As you know, if you watch the show for a while, or any time I talk about this Florida State Park system, I'm a huge proponent of our state parks, and it becomes, from all my years' experience and going to state parks and just walking through them, and mainly camping all these years. And I just absolutely love our Florida State Park system. It's all across the state. In fact, so far, so many across the state, I pulled up this map just to show y'all how many state parks are in Florida. This is the state parks of Florida. So each one of those little trees there, okay, they're numbered. You can pull it, I forgot where to pull this up online, but look at that. Is that not amazing? And I'm showing you, look down at the Keys. We've camped down at the Keys before, at Elliott Key. Well, I don't know which one it is, but that was fun. But look all through here. Well, you don't see them much around Miami and all, but anyway, look up here in the Panhandle where we are. We talk about these all the time. And okay, so I'll tell you this story because for Christmas, we got the kids a state park pass, and remember they're half price. And here, okay, but the big thing, it's going to run out. Here's right here. Okay, only 1 month remains. Actually, January 13th is the last day to buy the Florida State Park annual passes for families and individuals at a 50% discount. Also on the Gold Sportsman. Anyway, I want to talk about the state park pass. So what do you got? 9 days. So if you procrastinate like a lot of us and all, you need to go ahead and get it. It's a heck of a deal. You go to any state park in Florida, you go in there free with an annual pass. Like I said, we've always gotten one, but this year we were able to give some as a present because they're half price. So anyway, also, if you want to look at here it is right here. The annual pass is $60, and even the individual pass is $30. But now, the Gold Sportsman license, Walter gave Wendy one, although she's not a kid anymore, but he gave her one for Christmas, and they're like half price. So the Gold Sportsman license and the annual pass is half price, the Gold Pass. So it really comes in handy. I've been really impressed with them doing it. So anyway, let's jump into some fishing. Our buddy Joe Myers caught this. I love nighttime winter fishing. We've talked about this before. Here in the Panhandle, this fish is only 23 inches. Now Joe is a really good, he's a guide, he's an excellent fisherman. For those that know trout fishing know that a 23-inch trout, on average, about 2.5 to 3 pounds. Well, this football weighed in at 5 pounds. First fish with me weighed in for 2024. But you know, they just, what it is, they don't swim around a lot, they don't get a lot of exercise, and they're still eating. And that's unusual for a trout that size to weigh 5 pounds. Good job, Joe Myers. Okay, I just want to share this with you. Well, okay, let me talk about it. A lot of y'all always ask me about, getting on hunting leases, and some of y'all have leases and want to get members, and we do all we can to try to get y'all together on it. And it's harder and harder to get leases, and what has happened to some of these big landowners are going up on the prices, so they're, the price is going up. It's just, where you want to hunt and how much emphasis you have on how much you want to hunt. Personally, I could not envision a world without hunting. So I'm fortunate I get to go with people and have a little bit of property to hunt on. But I've also been on leases before, and they're great camaraderie and great fellowship. So I ran across this one. This was in the latest issue of Woods and Water. It's down in Taylor County. But first of all, I love the name, Camp Misery Hunting Club. Okay, now it is down, like I said, Taylor County is down there south of us, but I've been in that area before. Excellent woods. Now, I was around Perry, between Perry, okay, it's in a western section of Taylor County, consists of approximately, right in the center, 38,000 acres. And what they do, they've really consolidated, they lease from 4 different landowners, and US 98 all the way to Econfina, County Road and all that. But anyway, look it up if you're interested in it. There's actually a waiting list, I think, but they cap it at 270 members for 38,000 acres. And I thought, that's a pretty good deal. You'd have to travel some, but you have a camper, you want to go down there for the weekend and camp somewhere. And that's just one possibility for some of y'all looking for places. I know some of y'all like to go up in Alabama, different places like that. Okay. Now, yesterday I showed my sunrise pictures, and then someone sent me last night some pictures. Donna Gunner sent me pictures of her husband out fishing, and his fishing partner took a picture of, here it is right here. These pictures were taken by Charles's fishing partner yesterday. Aren't these amazing? So here they are right here. Isn't that not a great picture? I mean, that's like going on the cover of a magazine. Charles Gunner, that's one picture, and here's the other one. And that's beautiful. I just love pictures like that. So thank you, Donna Gunner, for sending that to me to share with you. Okay, so Pat Bryant sent these over there in Liberty County. Just 4 different kids got their first deer over the Christmas holidays, and that's 2 of them there. There's one here, and killed my first deer. So that was some good right there. Mike Bush sent this. I told Santa I wanted a center console with 2 motors. Well, okay, check the checklist. He's got the center console, and he's got the 2 motors. But I wouldn't take it too far out in the Gulf. That's a good one right there. Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We talk often about having a phone with her and taking so many unique pictures because of the opportunity. You have a camera. Back in the old days, you didn't have your camera with you, so all these things happen. You couldn't take a picture of it. So many of y'all, including myself and a lot of my friends, just all of a sudden hold a camera up and take a picture. Remember, go horizontal if you can. But Mike Price, I showed Mike Bush earlier, found a buck swimming across the bay. This is right here on New Year's Eve. Check this out. This is a big buck, and he's sort of like me. Gail said that must be me filming because it's hard to be still. You're excited. You see that buck. You want to get close. This is somewhere in the bay. I couldn't figure out. I couldn't recognize where it is. I'm thinking it may be over by Tyndall, and then I thought it might be the state park area. I can't really tell. You don't see any houses. It could be Crooked Island. But this is a big buck. Now watch it, he's swimming, it's a strong buck. Now just swimming, all 4 of those legs are moving. He's gotta be tired. Remember yesterday I was talking about bucks going into a rut? And I think this might be part of it, how they move around so much. There it is. Look at this. That's great. Look at there. Boom. Is that powerful? Look at them bouncing, bouncing. This is awesome, Mike Price. Old Bay High fella. There he goes. Okay, run down the beach. So I'm thinking he's going to just jump out there in the woods, or dump away from the camera. But look at him. That's a classic. And look at the palms and the pines and the big buck running. I thought to myself, well, that's Florida. So thank you, Mike, for having that. That's just really cool stuff. And so keep your phone with you, and if you run across stuff like that, do some video. That's nature. That's real people doing real things in real nature. So move on. I got a couple more pictures. I get a kick out of this. I've seen this before. Here's by our buddy Bill Dance. Imagine your life without fishing. Now, slap yourself and never do that again. Okay. And then, of course, some bear pictures, and you know how they are this time of year. They're after that food, and there's some big bears out there, big healthy bears here in the Panhandle. So, and one of my favorite photographers of all time is Tess Randall Jolly. But this is turkey teamwork. A dogwood tree was loaded with berries, and the hens. She's always got a story with her pictures. She's a professional photographer. The hens fed on the branches while the others waited below to feast on ones their flock mates caused to fall. So the hens actually knocked some of these off, and then see the ones on the ground? All right, so the mom took care. She went up there and knocked those off for the flock. Is that not a great story? So I just I love it when I see nature like that. So Tess Randall Jolly up there in North Alabama. I got some more pictures. I want to go ahead. I want to get into the fishing is so good this time of year in Lake Talquin, and it's always been that way. That's sort of been a special lake to me. I've talked about my granddad had a landing there and growing up there and learning how to fish, but a lot of people know back then it wasn't that many people, just locals would drive down from Quincy or up from Hosford and fish it on a Saturday. During the week, wasn't anybody out there, and it's different now. So, but what I wanted to show, here I got a picture of it. I just took these last night off. Okay, right here on the left, of course, is the dam. And I was reading, that dam was built, one of the fishing guides that actually was a guide up there saying that dam was built in the early 1900s. I was reading his report the other night. That dam was built in the late 40s and early 50s, so he was about 50 years off on that. But and anyway, the Pat Thomas Park is a county. That was my granddad's old landing there. The county bought it. Pat Thomas was a senator, so he helped the state buy it, so they named it after him. But all up in here, this is Ackerwall Creek. That area right there in the center, excellent fishing. And then you have different areas. But what happens? You just have so many different fish coming in. I wrote down some notes last night. The water temperature is what's cool about that area. And going up here, and see how long it is? It's man-made. I want to encourage you to learn the area if you can. It's the FWC. What happened about 20 years ago, the FWC, and I've always said, I've told FWC guys, it's sort of been one of their pet projects because it's right next to Tallahassee. So those guys can leave their office in Tallahassee and run over to Lake Talquin and do some research. And I've always kidded them about doing the research and all, but they really manage it well. They've introduced, they have a striped bass there, a largemouth bass, and a crappie. Those three are the big fish in Lake Talquin. Of course, crappie fishing is legendary, and it always has been. Why? Because when they built the dam and all the treetops that fell in it, it started a population of all those fish around those tree limbs. That crappie loves those limbs and all the protections. That's really started and happened to bass. And people, it used to be a real good local secret, but everybody knows about it now. So they were able to do that in crappie. So there's a huge population of shad. So when the shad is around there, you have the bass feeding, and they really, this time of year, they're really feeding a lot. Case in point, if you saw Joe Myers from that picture earlier, those trout were feeding a lot this time of year. So they've really gotten big, and they're getting ready to spawn. And that's why they're eating so much now. I've read some reports on it, talked to different people. So this time of year, especially late, the last week or two in January and the month of February, which is usually a dead month in outdoors, is just great fishing over there. The water temperature, when it hits around 50 and all, and then it starts warming back up, that's really when things start acting up over there. I wrote down, let's see what else I wrote down. There were record-breaking catches. Some of the bass have gotten so big, they're just catching record fish over there year in and year out. And so the FWC, they've changed things. They used to do a drawdown like Deer Point Lake. They don't do the drawdown anymore. They just keep it level and a natural level, and the dam does what it can. So it's an interesting lake, Lake Talquin. And like I said before, I thought it used to be when I was a little kid. I thought it was an Indian name of some kind of big chief that did something over there. And come to find out, when I got a little bit older, it was when they built the dam. It was halfway between Quincy and Tallahassee, so it was Tal Quinn. And so that burst my bubble as far as that. So let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. How about 4:54 to 6:54 this morning and this afternoon, 5:14 to 7:14. Talking about doing some winter fishing. Just mentioned Lake Talquin, but over the holidays, Bill Shields and son Cody, they went down to the houseboat down there at Howard Creek, and Cody was able to put together a little video, and he posted it, so I'm going to show this. This is the Shields winter fishing trip, okay? So just real quick, so what they did is set out trot lines. There's Cody there, and pulling in those, remember we've done video on this? Look at there. Look at that trot line full of catfish. There's Bill, and there's, look at there. And we're talking about winter fishing on the river. Boom, look at there. Ooh, he's looking for something to eat. I think Trey might have been with him. Look at that. Boom. That's Cody. Look at that. Okay, that's the sink we've cleaned them in. Look at that. It's a sink full of catfish. So that was a good job right there. So anyway, good job, Cody Shields and Bill Shields doing that winter, catching them on a trout line and winter fishing. How much fun is that? I wanted to go to the shark tracker. I was telling Jeff that big shark back here. So here we go. Let's go to it right here. So I pulled this up last night, and look at here, right up here. So we're gonna go to it and find out what's going on. I don't know who he's looking for. I'm gonna touch on it. This is KG. He's traveled 11,000 miles. He's gonna need an oil change, but anyway, it is a great white shark. A juvenile. He's only 10 foot, right? Only 600 pounds roughly. So I'm going to look at his track. Okay, so here's his track. Is that amazing that they were able to do this? And here he is, right here. The last this was on New Year's Eve, right there in the center on New Year's Eve. He's up there, and he has gone all over the place. That's like he's sort of like a teenager, I guess, traveling all over the place up there. Look at there. Way on up there. Look way on up there. The Gulf of St. Lawrence of Nova Scotia, and then down here to the Gulf of Mexico in Panama City, right off the coast here. And the okay, he's pinging. So anyway, I wanted to talk about that, and there's one more. There's one more in here too. This is sable. I want to show that. I watched this last night. I think it'll show up. This sable has had the same. Okay, sable is doing the same thing. I mean, really. And this was same area here. But what I wanted to show, I looked at this last night. Right here, watching sable. I hope this will pick up. This is. Let me see. Boom. Okay, watch this. This is when they're tagging sable. I like that name, sable. So you see how this is how they're doing. They're attaching these transmitters on the fin. It's a female juvenile white shark, and these are the transmitters. Technology is amazing. Named after Sable Island National Park. They measure it, and 11 feet 6 inches, 800 pounds. This is how they release it. They let the water just slowly come up. They keep washing through the gills, and just keep it track sable, and that Okay, city transmitter right there, that's where it's attached. It's amazing it stays on there. That shows how tough the hide is. O-search. So you can get that on Shark Tracker, and it's really interesting to be able to do that. So anyway, keep sending your cards and letters or your pictures and the stories and all these interesting stories here locally, and then of course the shark, and then the state park. If you look back on what we've done in the show, the state park. Don't forget to buy those state park passes by January the 13th. I have several other notes here I needed to go over. One thing I do want to mention, talking about catching fish, the whiting, okay, surf fishing for whiting, which is southern kingfish. And someone sent me a text the other day, what's the limit? There's no limit on those. You can't have more than 100 pounds of any fish unless you're a commercial guy. So that's a lot of whiting to get 100 pounds. So check that out. But I remember one of my favorite stories way back in the 80s, maybe the 90s, walking around this stump hole, and Gal and I was there on a January 3rd. We just driven down for the day, just walked the beach and all. But I walked up on this guy. I knew him, sort of knew him. His name was Mr. Beach. He was in his 80s maybe late 70s, early 80s at that time, and he was catching whiting. And I've caught him before. I've never seen anybody catch them like he was catching them. Mr. Beach lived up on, he's passed away now, lived up on 231 right there before we get into Youngstown. All the Beach family's up in that area, and I talked to him. We had some mutual friends, and we sort of knew each other. He had caught, and while I was talking, I said, "How many is that?" He said, "This is number 63. My next one will be number 64. And he had a 5-gallon bucket full. He just threw them in the bucket. And that bucket, and he already had one bucket, and they were overflowing. And he was having a ball. What he was using for bait, the little pieces about like that, little pieces of cut shrimp, just fresh shrimp. He cut it and just put it on a hook, and just a little lead right there, no lead or anything. He just tossed it out there, boom, and I just got a kick. We spent some time with him, just enjoyed talking to him and just watching the older guy just catching fish. And it was a visit I never will forget, a good fishing trip. Got to wrap it up for today. Enjoyed doing the show today, a lot of good stuff. I felt like it was good stuff. I really enjoyed sharing it with you. You do something good for someone else today. You have a great day. Take care of the outdoors. God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.